Yo, YouTube, it's Ed here, and today we are back with another Trigun episode 3 recap and review. And well, let's just get right straight into it. So, the episode is called Bright Light Shine Through the Darkness, and it went off the rails from the beginning. So, it picks up obviously right after episode 2, where one of the bad guys from that episode gets attached, some bomb attaches to him and then explodes. And so right off the bat, like, people are getting bombs attached to them and they're running around going nuts because they don't want to die. And it turns out that they encounter this like serial killer type, you know, arsonists, whatever you want to call, bomb maker named EG some I forget his name, sorry. And he's just basically attaching all these bombs to people and then sending them to explode. Anybody and everybody, which is psychotic, like, right? And that's just like the beginning of the episode. Turns out that um Vash's brother Knives is there to steal the seed that powers the city. So, um, right off in episode 3, we're introduced to Knives. We don't really get to see his face or anything. There is a little bit of in the thumbnail here, on the preview, but we don't really get to see his full face throughout the episode. But he is covered in this like weird, like nanotech cloak thing that can turn itself into these like razor sharp blades, and they can tear people up. Like they slice through people and things like hot knife through butter. It's crazy. So he's like super overpowered because this weapon can both be offensive and defensive, and it looks like he can like make a lot of it or out of the cloak thing. And he also has like a few henchmen that works with him. So um Knives is crazy, and Vash calls him Nye and AI, or at least that's how they spell it, in the subtitles. But everyone else knows him as Knives, right? Which is the same thing as what it was in the first or the original anime. So we're already introduced to Knives 3 episodes in, whereas in the original, I believe we weren't introduced to Knives until way later in the series. Again, I don't remember all of it, so someone can correct me if it was like, also this quickly. But I don't think we were introduced not to Knives like that quickly, and because they were doing a lot of character development and doing a lot of kind of like side quests, you can say, like, they're going to town to do all these like random like acts of kindness, and then like developing a lot of the characters and stuff. But they weren't really going into like the whole purpose of like what Vash is doing, so, or like the story of Vash so quickly. So I do kind of like that, about this, because it makes the anime a little bit more memorable. Because I mean, granted, it's been a while since I've seen the first Trigun, but I don't remember much of it, to be honest. Because like it took so long for it to actually get into the story, and back then I can watch it pretty easily. But I think if I were to rewatch it now, if I were to watch it like brand new, I don't know how into it I would be, because every episode was kind of like a little bit attached to the previous one, but not really. Like there was like there wasn't really like a continuating story. It was like, oh yeah, this week's adventure with Vash the Stampede is this. It wasn't There was like, there was an underlying background story, but it wasn't as like prevalent, So I really like kind of the direction they're going now. The first episode was just to introduce Vash. Second one, is like almost like another adventure, but then it goes straight into, with episode 3, this conflict with, Knives and the background of Knives and Vash and stuff like that. So you know what I think what the season will be about, because I haven't read anything else about the TV shows. This is what I'm getting from a viewer just watching it on Hulu, is that that they're going to be playing this cat and mouse game where Knives is going around um the world, or like, this world, and collecting the seeds for whatever reason, which does mean like a lot of people are gonna get screwed, because Knives just doesn't seem to give a crap. Like he doesn't care about people or anything about that. All he cares is is about his whatever his ideals or his philosophy is, right? Like he just is like, who cares if these people I take their seed that powers their city? Like I don't care if they die. Like he doesn't give a crap about anybody, and he'll use anyone to get whatever he needs. So I'm pretty sure his henchmen are toast at one point or another in this series, but we'll see. But overall, this was like a really fun episode, really good episode. A lot more adult in the sense that there's a lot of blood and then like a lot of violence in this like series. I was kind of shocked like how much violence there were, because like I mean the original one was a little like had some extreme parts, I guess you could say, that were a little more graphic ish, but never anything that was like, I don't remember it being like bloody. I don't remember it being like this where people literally get torn apart and like you hear like people getting screaming and stuff like that, mainly by knives. Like knives is like the freaking like the Joker of this world or something, just going ham on people. But overall, really good episode. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm very excited for what happens next week, and seeing what will happen in the coming episodes, because like how they're gonna play this, there's gonna be kind of, I feel like there's gonna be a little bit two stories where we everything right now is from more or less like Vash's standpoint, but maybe are they if they're I'm not sure if they're gonna throw in Knives' standpoint, like kind of like show more of like what he's doing and like what he's trying to build or why he's collecting the seeds, which I can only imagine if it's a power source, he's gonna either he's trying to build a ship to get the heck off that planet, or he's maybe build a bomb or something. I don't know, because he's pretty sadistic. So I don't know. But so far so good. Pretty much liking Trigun Stampede. I'm it's still a turns from like what the original was. Because Meryl is not even part of like an insurance company. It looks like she's a reporter, like a journalist. So I guess it doesn't really matter that much, but it is different from what it was before, because like there wasn't the whole donut thing that she keeps carrying around with her. So with her and Millie, so and we got this old dude who I don't know, and they still haven't introduced Nicholas Wolf Wood yet. So we'll see what happens maybe in the fourth episode we'll finally get to see him and what's that about, and like if he's a gunman bounty hunter priest like he was in the old one. So anyways, that's all I have for today. There wasn't really a whole lot to cover because it was pretty, I mean, it's a quick episode, and while there's a lot happens, I hope that you guys go watch it. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode, and then we'll come back next week to talk about episode 4. All right, guys, have a good week, have a good Monday, and take it easy. Hope everyone's doing well. Chat.